Hi everyone, and welcome in or welcome back. It's lovely to see you again, and I hope you're all doing well. I would like to introduce another set of dolls to you guys today. Today I have 2 out of the 4 that you can get in the regular base set, and this is the Mianmian Strange World Adventure series, and this is a collaboration between, I believe, UFdoll as well as MMdoll, and the box art for this is absolutely adorable. So on the front we get a little view of our RPG party, if you will, and they are a variety of animals, but I think they kind of lean towards puppies and cats, and maybe this one could be a rabbit. So if you have watched a couple other unboxings on this channel, you might know that UFdoll is probably my favorite out of these different BJD blind box companies. So if you're unfamiliar with them, they have previously done the Doremi Band series. This is one of my favorite dolls, actually. They have also done the Drink series, or the Tea series, who are the lovely 1/6 scale dolls that are a little bit on the smaller side of 1/6, but are a very lovely beginner doll to have, I believe. And very recently, they have also had the TV series. So they do have a fairly expansive portfolio of BJD blind boxes under their name, as well as having manufactured other BJDs before. But as far as entering the scene, I feel that they have been a very reliable company in terms of quality. With this more anthropomorphic series, I am interested in seeing how they turn out. With every doll that I've been like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like them as much, UF has always blown me out of the water in how adorable they end up being in person. So with that said, let's take a closer look at our cast. So the premise follows that there are 5 good youths mysteriously transported to the orc world. How will they adapt to their new identities, and where will they go from here? Their fate will be decided by you. Which character captivates your heart? Please select your character and let's explore the wondrous unknown of the otherworld together. There's so much lovely art on the box. It's so fun to see all the details on the box when it comes to this brand. So here is our cast of characters. We have Mimi, Kiki, Cuckoo, Momo, and this one is supposed to be Mianmian. Personally, of the 5, I really like these top 2, and I quite like that Mianmian has a fur pattern of an actual cat. I think that's very cute. Having taken a quick look at the characters on the backside, let's see who our first friend in the box is. 1, 2, 3. I think this one is Momo. Oh, they're quite big, actually. Oh, wow, the finish on the hair is absolutely beautiful. It's so reflective. They actually have a very nice weight to them. So let me go ahead and get the eyes in before we take a look at the base doll. There are the eyes, and they do also come with a couple blobs of putty. The hair mechanism is a little bit different than what we've seen in other ones, so it is in 2 parts, but there are magnets in the back side of the head and the back hairpiece to secure it in place. The head is also secured with magnets, and you can see a paw print on the back side of the head there. Very cute. And the inside of the head is fairly standard. So this brand actually does have a couple different hanging card options to their line as well. They had a clown that was available during crowdfunding, and I think is available separately at the moment. And as of right now, I believe there are 2 sort of wizard themed ones, one being rainbow and one being gray. And I think I might get the gray one, but I wanted to open these up now because I wanted to see how they were before I committed to buying one of the other ones. And hopefully seeing what the base set looks like will help some of you guys decide if you're interested in this line as well, if you were unsure of them before. I will say, be careful as you're handling the S-hook, because this is strung quite tightly, and so it does use some force to take on and off the head. So here is our base doll, and a good chunk of it is already quite detailed in the base doll alone. Lots of character even before putting on the outfit. Let's take a look at our doll here. Starting with the hair is a silver to blue gradient, very icy, almost reminiscent of like Final Fantasy Shiva to me. Very fun, pearlescent type of shimmer that coats the whole hair and gives the hair a different and more interesting finish compared to the face, which is actually fairly matte. So if we take a closer look at the face, we have these 2 adorable blobbish eyebrows. The eyelashes are drawn in blue with a number of circular and star-style highlights. They're outlined in the same black-gray color that is also the color of the under eye line, the eyebrows, and the eye crease. There's a cute little cat nose, also done in that dark gray color, and a tiny little pout. Lastly, for the face, the eyes are this lovely purple. The eyes from UFdoll are always so beautiful when they're in set. They have a little bit of a pink and orange highlight at the very bottom, white highlights on the top of the eyes, and kind of a darker color at the very top for the eyeshadowing. So at the very top of the head, there's also a little crown, and it is silver, slightly shimmery as well. In between the silver parts are a cute oceany blue. On the top is a cross, and in the center is a painted blue gem. For the body is quite stubby and small, so there are not a whole ton of articulated points to cover. We have the main arm part, which also is a little bit of an elbow, the shoulders, the neck, the thigh, and the knees. And the knees can go back about that far. The paw pads on this one are a light blue, and the boots are kind of directly colored onto the doll. It's a little bit hard to tell because my lighting is a little bit more warm-toned, but I think that the feet are colored slightly more white than the body is. On the bottom, we have more paw pads, again in that light pastel blue, and little laces that are painted directly on the calf area here. That covers the base doll. So taking a look at the parts that it comes with are little instructions from UFdoll, including how the bodies are strung. A little sword. Here's our little packet for the ears. Here are the two sides of the ears. One is more upright, and the other is floppy. A very nice effect is that they are actually somewhat translucent on the tips, and are a little bit more opaque at where they start on the head. Well, that is just adorable. That is so cute. Okay, we have our little tail bit. This one is fully opaque, but it kind of follows the same hair pattern, where the ends here are blue, the base of the tail is silver, and the whole thing is kind of iridescent or shimmery. And there's just a little peg on it so that it can go right where the tiny little tailbone is. It's also cut a specific way to orient it properly into the butt. That's so cute. Oh my god, they're so cute. Oh my god, it's just a dog. For the outfit pieces, here's the top. There's a sewn-in one-sided cape that goes right to the center of the backside. There's a bit of a tassel trim that goes all along the edge here. And for the undershirt, it's quite simple. On the top is a little bit of a frill right around the collar, some frills on the edges of the sleeves, edges of the shirt, some lace going straight down, and little yellow roses, 3 of them, and one of them connects to the cape. The pants are a pair of white, kind of pumpkin-style shorts. Finally, we have this icy blue belt that will go right around the shirt, and it has a teeny tiny little heart buckle. Let me get Momo all dressed up. It's kind of interesting. The little part where the S-hook is connected to is blue because of the paw pad. I feel like before getting more into the BJD side of things, I used to just prefer keeping dolls in their stock clothing. I was always specifically looking for dolls where I already loved how they look. And a lot of these ones I still do love how they look, just as they are, but I feel like ever since getting more into the BJD side of things, I've become much more appreciative and enjoyed interacting with them in terms of the customization and personalization of my dolls. And it's been really fun because between like the unboxing videos and the customizing that I've been doing on the side, even with just Frankensteining different parts together to make a character that's more in my vision, I feel like I've found even more things about this hobby to just absolutely fall in love with, and those things just feel so important to hold on to at the moment. I can put this pair of pants on. I haven't ever really been one to name my dolls that much, in part because for like the last couple years before this year, I was mostly collecting Precure style, which are all established characters already. But it seems fun to make characters specifically out of the dolls that you have. Such another creative way to interact and enjoy the hobby. So just as the TV dolls did before, there is a little gap in the shorts there for the tail. I've been thinking for a bit here that one thing that I might also want to try is kind of just sitting down with dolls that I already have and talking about a little bit about why I chose them and the sentimental value that they all have. While I might try that, it would be nice to know whether or not people enjoy just me sitting here and talking. There is our little Ice Knight all dressed up. While they don't have any character information per se, they do have stats. So we know that the frosty crown on the top of his head gives him an additional 555 HP. The sword that he's holding, which I just attached with a little bit of putty, gives him 666 attack. His base skills are that he has an attack of 70, a magic of 50, 100 in defense, and a 50 in agility. And he actually does have quite high stats in charisma. Quite befitting of a prince, but he is really, really cute. I wasn't sure how big they were going to be, but they're, again, quite hefty. Here they are compared to the Doremi series. They are substantially chunkier and substantially bigger, have a whole host of charm of a different kind compared to the Doremi series. While the anthropomorphic character design might not be for everybody, I feel like it works really well in this chibi-style proportion. And I feel like the chibi proportions actually work really well for this idea too, because it's almost reminiscent of seeing how small and tiny the sprites were in Game Boy games and other really old RPGs. So I'm quite charmed by how the idea actually works all together. So let me go ahead and set our prints aside and let's open up our second character. Let's see who our second friend of the party is. 1, 2, 3. I think this one is Mimi. I completely missed the character card in the other box, but here you can see the little stat breakdown that he has. Considering how cute the character art is, I think it would have been nice to have the character sprite on the card instead of a photo picture, but the little pixel icon on the top and on the bottom are really cute. My bad that I accidentally missed the character card, but in this side we have Mimi, who is the princess, so actually pairs kind of nicely that we got the princess and the prince. All her little bits and baubles, bright eyes, tail, oh my god, a little bone. I'm just so surprised by how much heft they have. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. You know, I'm such a sucker for when they actually use interesting textures and stuff to add more character to the designs and more variety among the designs. And whereas Momo had this iridescent hair, Mimi's hair is actually flocked and kind of velvety. Look at how cute her little face is. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me get her eyeballs in first. I'm gonna have to resist getting the rest of the party. Holy crap. Now I feel bad for separating them from each other. I would love to see what people are doing as far as customs and stuff go with them as well. So before I actually get too far into dressing up and covering Mimi here, I saw some people doing some interesting rebodies, so I'm going to go ahead and put her head on some of the other characters I have here, just to give a couple different options of customization if you would like other proportions with them. I think their chunky, bigger head actually makes them quite cute on larger bodies as well. Here they are on the Chinese festival doll body from Lucky Doll. Their head is still a little bit heavy and doesn't fit quite into the head here, but this one is a pretty easy swap out to do since this one also doesn't have a neck card and just relies on a couple divots around the neck to keep the S-hook in place. Proportionally, this one is actually a pretty cute combination. Now here is her head on the TV series body. This one I think is actually really cute, and I feel like the paw hands are pretty nice too. Their style of bigger, chunkier head works quite nicely on these thicker YOSD style bodies. All the love goes to the different netizens and such that have tried out different combinations, but I'm glad to have seen them because there are a lot of cute styles that you can do. I even kind of like the TV head on the smaller body, but as far as a full body Mianmian, this would be cute actually. Regardless though, I'm going to rehome her back to her original head, but that was a fun little set of experiments. The mini TV is quite cute. Alright, with our little bit of experimenting done, let's take a look at her doll as it's supposed to be. So as I mentioned at the beginning, her hair is flocked with this soft velvety texture. I actually quite like it, but I think this particular texture, it might be something that people who are more sensitive to different sensory experiences might have more issues with. But of course that experience is very personal, just something to keep in mind. I'm not too sure if the other ones have textures on them. In any case, her hair is this soft blonde color. Her eyebrows are a much darker brown. Her eyelashes are a white and they are outlined in that brown. That is also used for her eyebrows, her eye creases, and she actually doesn't have anything decorating the lower lashes. I think she just has a little bit of white. So there are some white dots and a little heart there, but she does not have under eyelashes. I didn't really cover it on Momo, but as far as the head blushing goes, they actually have it on the tip of their nose, the cheeks, and the chin. She does not have the little snout nose, but it is still kind of indicated through the sculpt. She carries all the same parts of articulation, but the paw pads on her hands and her feet are this bright pink color, and instead of the little laces, she has little bows. Really like the little blush nose. It always makes them look so cute and like a little bit chilly. Now I'll take a look at all of the things that she comes with. So it looks like Mimi might be more distinctly puppy, or I think both of them might be puppies because both of her ears are kind of that folded over style of doggy ear. And they are both blonde, though on the inside there's a little bit of pink instead for her under ear. Here's her crown, and it actually matches quite nicely to Momo's. It is silver with blue gems and a big old blue heart, and I was curious how it was going to stay on, but there's actually a magnet on the base that will probably keep it in place. Here's her little fluffy tail. All of her pieces are also flocked to match her hair, by the way. She has a tiny little white belt, and just like Momo's, there's a little heart buckle on the end. For her outfit, she has a bonnet, which I am a very big fan of. The whole thing is white, but there is frill on the edge of the bonnet, a larger lining of frill on the inside of the bonnet, a ribbon on the back, and 2 ribbons attached so you can tie it around her head. Her dress is actually fairly detailed for the tiny piece that it is. There is a huge satin bow in the back, and the dress is made up of a couple different layers. So there is this smaller layer of frills around the top, with a heart button in the center. At the waist, there are 2 yellow flowers made out of fabric. And then the skirt is a couple layers of frills that are stacked up on top of each other to give them more volume. It looks like we have 2 layers of frills, but they overlap slightly so that it looks a little bit more full that way. Finally, her little weapon is this bone with a bow on it. This side of the bonnet piece is not really sewn on well, so I might have to glue that one into place with a bit of fabric glue. This one feels a little bit more secure though. So in case anyone else gets Mimi, with that little white belt piece, I couldn't figure out where it was supposed to go based off of the reference photos. So I think it is supposed to go around her neck, but I don't think it shows up in photographs very well because she is usually wearing her bonnet and the tie kind of covers up her neck. But I believe this is where it is supposed to go. That's fun. Okay. I think this box may have come with 2 tails. From what I can tell, she does not have space for 2 tails, but that's kind of a fun box accident to have, if that is an accident. I mean, while looking at her, I didn't see anywhere else that would need a tail. So here is our princess, and I feel like she is so cute and feels a lot bulkier, but I think that's because of the puffballs on the side of her head. Now, it is unfortunate that this side was not attached very well, but some fabric glue should hold that right in place. The crown was kind of interesting in that it is not supposed to fit flush to her head, but kind of just sits on a magnetized part on her front bang there. There is ample space for the ears, the bonnet, the crown, and it's an interesting way of layering everything so that it fits. But yeah, the placement of the crown I thought was interesting. But I quite enjoy the characterization in terms of the face and the fact that her eyes are much more upturned and kind of timid looking, and Momo's is a little bit more stoic almost. With the timid expression and everything though, I feel like she does actually represent the princess character of a lot of classic RPGs actually quite well. I was under the impression that because she is a princess that she would be our healer, but it seems like she's actually a mage. On her stat card, it says that her attack is at 30, her magic is her strong point at 60, defense is 40, and agility is 10. And she also has very high charisma as well. So I would be curious if UFdoll eventually sells blanks or something of that kind, because, for example, like the flocked hair on Mimi would make her quite difficult to customize. For dolls where the finish is just the iridescence, I think that that's not such a problem. But of course, the actual textures are going to pose more of an issue if you were to get these ones for customizing. Now that said, the characters are very, very cute and very, very charming, and I think this was a really cool concept to see executed nicely. I actually might get more blind ones and reuse the heads on other doll bodies because I really liked how they look, especially on the TV one. I actually think they looked really cute on the TV proportion. Because they're so top heavy, I believe that their original funding campaign did offer wooden trunk stands that had almost like little shoes that their feet could slot into. I think that's actually pretty cute. It kind of works well as like a character selection stand. Now, with all that said, I would love to actually see them do a season 2 of this, even under the impression of the enemies of our main team here. Hopefully this line does well, and hopefully the hanging cards do as well. Overall, I don't think I have too many complaints with these dolls, if any. My only complaint really was that the little fluffy part on the headband was about ready to fall off, but that is something that is easily fixable with a bit of fabric glue. The other thing that is just slightly annoying is that trying to get the tail to actually stay and not get knocked out can be a little annoying, and it doesn't help that this shirt is not cut at the end to accommodate for the tail this way, so there's Velcro all the way to the end, and so it kind of doesn't sit super nicely over the tail. But those are just minor nitpicks as far as the clothing goes, and I think that the base dolls themselves are absolutely stunning. I think they are so cute and so full of character, and that's always something that I love to see in the base set of dolls too, because as much as I enjoy picking up custom projects, I think that it is also important to have a series that is enjoyable and full of life and kind of bonds with you even just right out of the box instead of being a blank canvas. But yeah, so that about covers all of my thoughts on them. If you're interested, I do highly recommend them. They are a really fun doll experience to have, just in terms of their characters and the different textures and the details on them. They're really, really cute and very charming in that way. And it's kind of nice to see that their story integrated the whole isekai thing. I know that's been very popular as a genre lately. So that about covers all of my thoughts on these two. If you are interested in them, I urge you to go take a look, because I am excited to see what else comes from this collaboration between MMdoll and UFdoll, and to see if they do other RPG members. I'm quite interested in the two Witchy series, actually. I think that one will be a really fun one to get and cover with you guys when they're closer to release. I would actually like to shout out a store that has recently started carrying them. I didn't get the chance to order these two from them at the time because they weren't available there yet. Cherry Goods has been absolutely wonderful in accommodating my requests when I've had them, and while I'm on the wait for some boxes, and I look forward to opening those packages from them with you guys, they are absolutely lovely, such wonderful customer service, they're very responsive, they are very new. As someone who supports small and supports local when I can, I wanted to give that one a shout out because they are just absolutely lovely, and I urge you to take a look in the community and maybe consider checking out that shop. It is such a lovely one. In any case, I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, rest of your night, and remember that you are loved, you are cared for, and I look forward to seeing you again, whether that be in a video or a stream. Okay, bye-bye!